I think it's pretty appropriate to see that Anamana Matt and 7 Tachyon, which Konami said weren't problems, took down this Genesys championship. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more. We have the breakdown for Pittsburgh's Genesys Championship. And honestly, I heard that they ran over, 100 championship pods to get people to actually get into the Sunday event, which is crazy to actually hear that many were firing for the event. But for this event, it appears that Punk was one of the highest represented decks. Honestly, for the top cut, I'm not surprised to see that, but Punk, considering the tools that it has, it should make sense that, once you start to see that this deck starts to fire off and starts to combo, it does become a little bit of a menace. We also had 2 Radiant Typhoons. Very strange that Radiant Typhoon rose to the occasion here. This was something that we were talking about kind of in the past, where Konami had chosen not to hit the support around Radiant Typhoon to justify basically allowing the Mystical Space Typhoon menace itself to continue running around in the format. And, we had just that. We also had Anamana Matt. Now, honestly, Anamana getting access to 7 Tachyon free of charge is some of the most hilarious decisions that I think that Konami has kind of allowed in the recent list. And you know what? I'm willing to kind of see where it goes for the future. We also had Draco Tail. Now, this was something that we recently saw on the successful side of Farfa's event, and I actually think it's pretty cool to see that Draco Tail was actually a challenger for this event. We also had Art Mage, which has been a pretty regular customer for this style of tournament. And we also had Vanquishal. Vanquishal recently just got literally obliterated on the point list. So to see that somebody was willing to pick up the helm and give that a shot, I think was really, really refreshing. Now let's pass on over to deck list. All right, so winning our event here was evidently Anamana Matt with triple Dark Ruler No More crammed into this bad boy. I am happy to see that, this deck actually is kind of doing things now. Yes, we are also playing the rank up Magic Barian's Force. If you, do hit the high roll, it does kind of turn out into some little fun stuff, but I like the inclusion of this. Anamana Para still is a very costly card to play in this format. You also do see that you do have access to the Ultimate Slayers. Ultimate Slayer has become, I think, one of the best spot removal cards within this format. Being able just to clean up problems is good. Also see we are side decking Gagaga Utopic Tactics, and we are also citing the 2 Unbreakable Exceeds Barriers. Yeah, it makes sense. I perfectly understand why this deck was able to just kind of rise from the ashes and do great. Draco Tail. 1 5 mana, triple copies of Yield Malulu are going to be your big point breakers. Unfortunately, Arthalion is a 20-pointer, so, we're not going to really be able to exploit things a little bit too badly along that way, but, that's fine. I also do see that we are side decking the Shaddoll Fusions, which is fine. Getting access to a construct is really, really good, and especially when you've already got the Shaddoll Beast built in the main deck to net you some draw power. It definitely is worth exploring. Even though this package is extremely costed for its power, this deck was able to claw its way into second place, and I think that's a pretty important test of, this deck's power. Also, handing your opponent a Kaiju, Arthaling it back to your field. Yeah, that seems pretty fun. Ooh, we have Art Mage for you. Now, this Art Mage list went quite interestingly heavy on the cross-out designators here. Which I don't really blame them for, honestly, because one thing that we have learned about this format is if your opponent if you're going to get hand trapped, you're going to have a really bad time. So, you want to be able to kind of get some power points where you can. I also find this interesting. We're side decking triple Draco Tail Flame down here, but this is also because this is basically a generic spell negate, which actually can help you out a lot more than you might be thinking. the fact that somebody decided to play this as a generic choice is absolutely amazing and very telling to me about how this format is kind of starting to develop. Next up here, we have the punk good stuff. I also do see that we are using the prototype psychic cards to kind of build in and help us out. This is not really much of a strange thing. I mean, once again, you're playing effectively psychic good stuff. You know, the punk stuff obviously is going to be the best part of the deck, but you know, you're going to have to, you have to have bits and pieces to kind of supplement and go. We are also seeing the 2 Book of Eclipses as options. I also do see that we have Gravity Collapses in here. Interesting. I don't really feel like you get the chance to see Gravity Collapse coming up all that much as an option, but that's really, really cool. In terms of the rest of the power that this deck is kind of generating, I think it's pretty solid. Obviously, you know, yeah, Foxy Tune's one of the biggest costly things you have next to this, but I mean, you have enough room in here to slot in hand traps, and you're able definitely to make those important key concessions where you actually need them. Next up here, oh, well, hello there. We have the double Noble Knights Shield Bearer. Man, being able to go into the level 6 Allure Wind Monster, I think is very refreshing, honestly. It's why you choose to play this card. This build is also playing the triple Mirage and Nightmare. Now, it's crazy to think about here because in a format like this, Mirage and Nightmare is still a very, very slow card. And Konami said, hey, let's give everybody a chance. Let's see if you guys can actually try to break, Mirage and Nightmare in this format. And I mean, it's a very strong contender when it does work. The other 99% of the time, I mean, it's still basically a 2-card combo. You still have to see this and this in order to, take care of it, get the massive draw, but it's also passive as well. Like, it's still going to take multiple turns to kind of snowball this advantage, just to kind of see where you can go. And also, look, Draco Tail Flame is back at it again. Ooh, we have more Radiant Typhoon. Now, this version was playing the Runic good stuff. This really shouldn't surprise you. I mean, the Runic is basically unchecked in this format. Reason for it, I mean, we don't get access to any of the, power cards that you would be used to seeing. I also see that they chose to have the Borreload Savage Dragon down here just as a haha little piece in the extract. But I mean, you can't do anything with it. Links are banned in this format. You're just kind of like, hey, we can slap this bad boy into the deck and we can basically just kind of roll with it and go from there. I do see that the Dragon Lark is showing up, though. It's been a little bit since I've seen this. I think it's been since the Virtual World days. It was the last time that somebody brought this concept to the table and actually had a successful run with it. So I think that's really, really, really cool to see. Next up here, we have Vanquish Soul. Oh, you know what? 2 Holly Sues is very heavy and very costed, but this makes sense. You've also got Rosin back here doing his thing, but also this build decided to build in the Genesys cards, which, once again, I think that this is fine. You have to make some sort of concession when you're playing a deck like this, and especially on this level that you're playing this, because, the Regenesis stuff is going to be your consistency enabler, and I mean, this all works out. You also do get to see Vidos being the rip-apart sort of creature that we were wanting to see. I do see that we are playing Baromet down here. Been a little while since I've seen this little guy actually coming up, but, interesting. Also, yeah, we get to see Dempsey, and I also see that we are side decking the Perfume Dancer to try to out the Liger Dancer if your opponent leaves it in attack mode. It's definitely the haha funny for the Ultimate Slayer. And then we have your last punk list for this event. They went absolutely ham on the hand traps here, also going with the nibs here. I also do see, yes, they did play the Gravity Collapse. Gravity Collapse still remains one of the most toxic cards that you can play in this format. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to be sitting here trying to deny how good this card is. It's just because, you got Punk running around out here. I would not be surprised to see Gravity Collapse eventually getting a slight point restriction on it. But that is your Genesys Championship breakdown. Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.